Hello, um, I'm Dr. Burgess. I'm Chairman of the History Department, and thank you for stopping by today. I am currently surrounded by cats who wish to know to whom I'm speaking, but we'll sort of let that go by the wayside. I assume you're here because you're interested in the idea of studying history, perhaps as a major or a minor, or maybe just even taking classes that interest you. And I could do the usual thing and tell you the history major consists of 39 hours of history, and I could list all of those for you. And I could do the same thing with the minor, but that's not really what I want to do. What I want to do today in the next 5 or 6 minutes is talk to you a little bit about what we do, why we do it, why we think it's a benefit to you, and then I want to talk a little about what you can do with a history major because let's face it, food, shelter, and clothing are always a principal concern. So, um, first of all, why study history? Well, we think that history is an indispensable intellectual endeavor. Mhm. I suppose most academic departments think that about their subject, but we do as well. And not to put too fine a point on it, but history is the study of us. It's the study of how we got here. It's the study of the past and how it relates to you and your family and your community, your county, your province, your state, your nation, any of those things. And it is designed to develop in you, among other things, a historical consciousness so that you don't live in a sort of eternal present without any sense that things have not always been this way. That where we are, you are, your family is, everyone around us has had a long history and a long road to get to this point. And sometimes that place is good, sometimes it's bad. But these are the kinds of things that we want you to study and want you to understand. Um, what we teach here is, we think, again, an indispensable intellectual endeavor that deals with political history, social history, economic, religious, um, class, nation states, the diversity of the world. Um, I mean, in some ways, it really is just that simple. We are trying to instill in you, again, a historical sense, a sense of how we got here, that the world has not always been this way, and that the world won't stay this way. And history, properly, belongs to what are called the liberal arts. History is very old. It goes back to ancient Greece, along with philosophy. And when I say liberal arts, unless someone sort of rolls their eyes and goes, oh my goodness, it has nothing to do with modern politics. The idea of liberal arts comes from the Latin word liber, which means a free individual, a free person. And the liberal arts are, history included, from their very inception, designed to instill in the educated the kinds of knowledge and skills and ability to understand that are proper for a free person in a free society. And pardon me, allergies. Um, that's what we try to do. We try to instill in you, through the study of the past, the ability to read analytically, to think critically, and to write clearly, and to understand your place in a complex, diverse, globalized society. We hope that what we teach you will allow you to function in the public space with the ability to tell good information from bad, to talk and speak clearly, and to be able to demonstrate to yourself and other people the process of how we got to where we are, whatever that place is. Um, Not necessarily judgmentally, although that may be called for sometimes, but in order to develop a literate, functional society so that you don't hear something and have sort of a knee-jerk reaction to it, which is sort of perfectly acceptable, I suppose. Everyone does it. But what we hope here is to develop in you um, a sense that you need to engage at more than the superficial level, at the level of the complexities of the interaction of all of these forces, social, political, economic, religious, ethnic, you name it. It's a complicated world, and our goal is to try to help you learn how to understand it and navigate it. And I could go on, but what I would like to talk about now is the kinds of things that you can do with a history degree. And I know from experience, I've been advising since I started graduate school, 50 years ago, I guess, that most people work on the assumption that if a student is going to a university to be a history major, that they want to teach in secondary education. And that's true to some extent. About 25% of our current number of majors are studying to be secondary education teachers. But the other 75% are doing other things. And you might ask reasonably what those are. And I can give you examples both from the present and from the past. We send our students to PhD programs so that they can be someone like me who's a professor in a university. But we also send people to medical school. For instance, there's not really much difference in the scores between history and, say, biology majors on the MCAT. Law school is quite common. Seminary. Dr. Green in philosophy, the head of religious studies, and myself have probably shared 20 or more students who've gone off to seminary, for instance, to become either historians or archaeologists or clergy. We have people that go into things that are not directly related to history, such things as law enforcement, police department, Tennessee Bureau of Investigations, FBI, CIA, Border Patrol, DOD. We have 3 people in one family who work for the Park Service. We have people working, one person at least, for the Civilian Conservation Corps, which still exists, believe it or not. We have students that go into careers that have nothing to do with history. A former student of mine worked part-time as a baggage handler out at the airport here. And because of his ability to think analytically, to speak clearly, and to write analytical reports, he rapidly worked his way up into middle management of U.S. Airlines. We have people that go on to graduate programs in historical preservation, library science, archives. One of my former students is an archivist for Congress, for goodness sakes. And the list goes on. I could continue, but I don't want to make this too long. So if you have questions, please call me. You can find my number on the History Department's webpage as well as my email address. Call me, send me an email, and we'll talk about what a history major can do for you. And we'll talk about your future plans and about your life. So again, in this difficult time, I hope you and your family are safe. Take care of yourselves, be well, and call Dr. Burgess. Thanks very much. Take care.